Good morning. This is Dylan Jovine with Behind the Markets. Happy Friday. Today is Friday, September 19th, and TGIF. Today, I'd like to talk about what else but Nvidia's $5 billion investment in Intel. That is a big deal. It's a very big deal. They're actually buying the shares at $23.28. And of course, shares of Intel jumped nicely yesterday. They were up basically 30% or thereabouts at different times of the day, to around 32, 33 bucks a share, which is great for Intel shareholders. Still not where I recommended Intel as part of a special report on surprise quantum companies a few years back, actually 18 months ago. A couple of the stocks we recommended that did fabulously, like IonQ and other things. This one did not do well. We recommended about 40 bucks a share. So it's still down from our recommended price. Didn't work out the way I thought it would, even though I'm long-term bullish on that Intel. But it's very interesting that this is happening. So I'm not here trying to take a victory lap at all. I would have never bet this. I didn't see this one coming. Intel's a very challenging business. I thought the prior CEO, Gesslinger, had his finger on the pulse of it, but I was wrong. What makes Intel so challenging is that the capital spending is very intense. You've got to invest billions and billions of dollars in plants to make these chips. So basically, in every few years, the chips, the plants change. So you have to retool them, remake them. It's a very capital intensive business. Think of it like owning a house, okay, that you're renting out to people. Let's say you collect $2,000 a month in rent, but every single year you've got to replace the roof and the basement. So you're only netting $200 because those are capital expenditures. Those are big expenses to actually maintain the property so you could rent it out. So you're only netting $200 a month. Well, Intel has the same kind of thing. It's like a car company, like General Motors or whatever. These companies have massive capital expenditures. But I'll tell you something, the Nvidia investment also follows the deal that SoftBank CEO invested in last year. He decided to take a big position because what they're trying to do is, of course, under President Trump and even under Biden before him with the CHIPS Act, they're really trying to push American manufacturing of semiconductors, of advanced semiconductors. Very, very important for this to happen. Because remember something, Chinese President Xi Jinping basically can shut off AI. Wow, I actually snapped my finger for the first time with this messed up pinky. Wow. He can basically shut off AI just by invading Taiwan. If there's a war, if they try to punch through and get to Taiwan, he basically shuts off AI. Basically, there are no chips that are coming out of Taiwan. And remember something, 90% of all the advanced semiconductors that we use come out of Taiwan. If he actually tried to take Taiwan, basically trade in the South China Sea would immediately stop. 90% of the advanced semiconductors that power AI, like Nvidia's chips, they're made in Taiwan by Taiwan Semiconductor. So they would basically stop. So this is like the one man on the planet who could stop AI in its tracks. So we have to really push to get independent on getting our advanced chips from Taiwan, which is why we are pushing, former President Biden and President Trump is really pushing domestic manufacturing of chips, of advanced semiconductors. So Nvidia's stake is very helpful to get Intel across the line. That $5 billion is going to help Intel build these massive factories needed to make these very advanced chips, which is very important. I'm happy about this. In this day and age right now, it smacks of political influence. We saw that with basically the government, the CHIPS Act. The President Biden under the CHIPS Act had basically come up with a grant basically for Intel to make chips in America. President Trump turned that into an equity investment in the company. There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Nvidia is trying to get to sell their chips in China. This might have been the price that President Trump really asked for Nvidia to have permission to sell their chips in China. There's a lot of game going on here with a lot of the players that most people aren't aware of. So there's a lot of game upon game. The point that I'm trying to make is stock in Intel went higher. This is a terrific boost. This makes it much more likely that Intel will do well and complete this turnaround. And they have a new CEO who is a super smart person, Lip-Bu Tan, who's the chief executive officer now of Intel, who famously met with President Trump last month. What do I think about Intel today? I recommended it at 40 bucks a share. It is down. I'm not happy about that. It's down a little bit less than it was down at the beginning of the week. I am cautiously optimistic on Intel. I would not be rushing out and buying it. We're holding it right now. But I want a little bit more to come out. I want to make sure that this investment is really based on something more than just political pressure, a favor in return for letting Nvidia sell chips in China. And that's going to come out, I'm sure, over time. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say on this lovely Friday. I hope you have a lovely, wonderful weekend with the family, and I will see you bright and early Monday morning.